Well, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. Hello, everyone. This is Jermaine with The Simple Truth. But for most of the people out there that I'm going to be talking to today on this episode of Saints Speak, I am Brother Jermaine, and I am so pleased and honored to be here at G.O.T.S 2012. I've had a whole lot of interviews with a whole lot of people. They were enlightening, and it was great to be here. We're winding down. It's practically over. But I am just humbled to have on The Simple Truth, as a part of Saints Speak today, the mother of Straitway and the woman behind the man. And that is none other than Sister Carol. We are so excited to have her because this isn't something that Sister Carol normally does. I had to beg, I had to plead, I had to even go to Pastor. But Sister Carol was so nice to be able to do this for us. It's not that she doesn't like to do these type of things, but she's just not a speaker. And I told her we're just going to hold a conversation. And before we get started, before we really go into the meat of what I would like to discuss today, I'd just like, Sister Carol, for you just to say hello to the saints out there and just, just introduce yourself to them as who you are.
Hallelujah, saints. I'm sorry my voice is a little bit taxed, but we had a wonderful time last evening doing mass deliverance. So if I sound groggy, that's why. I'm Sister Carol. To those of you who don't know me, most of you don't see me. I stay pretty much behind the scenes. I'm Pastor Dow's wife. We've been married for, I think, 26 years. We have 2 children, and we've been living here at Straitway and started Straitway maybe 15 years ago, something like that, and we wouldn't want to live any other way, and we are just here to help you and all the saints to learn the truth and to grow more in faith so that we can all make it into the kingdom.
Well, thank you, Sister Carol. Ladies and gentlemen, I had the opportunity, as you've probably seen through the various interviews we had, I had the opportunity to sit down with Granny Gaston, and it was awesome. And Granny Gaston spoke directly to the Daughters of Zion out there. She spoke straight to the heart. She told you what it was all about from her perspective and her years of experience. But the reason, more so than anything, that I wanted to have Sister Carol here, number one, this is my mom in the faith, so I just had to have her. And I can honestly admit that from afar, I've loved and honored Sister Carol and for the strength that she has. But to have the chance to go one-on-one with Sister Carol and talk to her and get to know her heart, know what Straitway truly means to her, what you saints mean to her. I had to have her come so she could share that with you because many of the saints are encouraged by what Pastor shares with us, and they know of Sister Carol, but many saints have written me and have said to me, they said, Jermaine, we would like to hear more from Sister Carol. She's got to be an awesome woman of God. And I said, well, I've said to myself, because I didn't respond really to any of the people who had talked to me. And I said, well, I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna leave it in prayer. I'm gonna talk to her. I want to see what she thinks. And I knew, I was encouraged. I had to give this shout out to my grandmother. I was encouraged when I told her that I was thinking about trying to make this happen. And she said, in her very humbled and 88-year-old, wisdom-filled, but loving, she said, oh, that would be so sweet to hear from Sister Carol. And I said, okay, that was my marching orders right then and right there. So to get into it, Sister Carol, one of the questions that I ask all of the saints, and it comes down to what, besides your husband, because it's one thing for your husband to do something and you be obedient to it, but you have to feel it. You can be obedient, but you may not feel it yourself. But what really was the thing that brought you to the truth? I mean, Pastor Dow has his own story. But what was it that really turned the lights on for you as far as truth?
Well, I've been in church my whole life, pretty much. Baptist faith, knew absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Learned absolutely nothing, which was an advantage to me because I did not have to unlearn a lot of the false doctrines that a lot of people have to work on today. But so in that, thought that I was okay. And so when my husband really came into the knowledge of the truth and was baptized and received the gift of the Holy Spirit. And I thought, no way. He's the bad one. I'm the good one. I stay at home and take care of the children and, just try to do right and the quiet one or whatever. And I thought, no way the Most High would do that for him and not for me.
Okay.
So, we struggled a little bit for a month or two thinking that, oh, I don't want this life. I don't want to do that. But
Okay.
he said the Most High showed him in a dream 2 women.
Okay.
And the next day we went to the Christian bookstore to pick up some Bibles.
Okay.
And he met 2 Pentecostal women, and they agreed to come over and have a Bible study with me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have a problem with that because I did want to learn. I just thought I was all right.
Okay.
So all the things that he had been teaching me and trying to tell me that I didn't want to hear at the time, they showed me in the scriptures and, just did it in a womanly way.
Mm-hmm.
And from that moment on, I just knew. I believe I became a believer that evening. Told him, honey, you got to baptize me in the bathtub right now.
Okay.
I don't want to go to sleep tonight without really, really knowing who the Most High is. And he said, honey, I can't do that. You've got to be fully submerged. You won't fit all the way in the bathtub prostrate like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, no, I don't want to go another day. So we worked through that, and I was baptized and received the gift of the Holy Spirit, and we've pretty much been going strong ever since.
Okay. Now this is the thing that I ask every person this.
Okay.
But this is going to be a little different in how Sister Carol answers this question. What was your first impression of Charles Dow, not Pastor Dow, when you first met him?
Oh, my.
Because am I correct in remembering hearing the story between you and he that you were 15, you've known each other since, you told me 15 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we're not talking about Pastor Dow. Most people, everybody else, it would be, what was your first impression of when you first saw Pastor Dow? But when you first saw the man, Charles Dow, what was your impression of him?
Like you said, we met at 15.
Okay.
Through another friend. He saw a picture of me through her.
Okay.
And we arranged to kind of hook up, and I thought, well, he's okay. He's kind of cute. Something maybe different about him. But something just clicked.
Okay.
From then on, he was very different than he is now. He's much more mature. He was quite the jokester.
Was he brash when you first met him?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat.
So that's always been there.
Not always. He actually used to be shy, and I know a lot of people would not believe that.
Wait a minute. Can you say that one more time?
He actually used to be very shy up until, I believe, junior high school, and he said to himself, I'm tired of being this way.
Okay.
And so he changed, and he's just been very outgoing ever since, but he's always had a leading spirit, even with his brothers.
Right. Well, the determined part, you can hear
Yes.
that. And I pick a lot of that up, having had the opportunity to Brother Sammy and Dad Dow. It's just, that's amazing. But yeah, the other question that I would like to know is that we have, the reason that Saints Speak became a part of the Simple Truth was because I wanted a way. And I guess it was from my own experience, and I guess a lot of times we do a lot of things out of our own experience to probably help others. But I asked the question, what would you have to say? So what would you have to say? But let me stop there and say, what my impressions and what I needed to do by creating this was to reach out to saints that are out there to let them know that they're not alone. And they're not the only ones. We may see you on the camera, but yet I can do this even though I'm not here at Straitway. I can do this. So what would your words of encouragement be for those saints that are out there that are waking up because of the ministry, waking up because of the YouTube videos, the online church? What would be some words for those that are making that transition and are trying to do what they can? Because a lot of people have the feeling that, hey, I'm not as far along as they are, and what can I do, or can I really make it work? So what would you have to say to that?
First off, I would say don't be overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
by what you see, because it's easy to come to a place like this and get overwhelmed.
Okay.
But this has been a work over 15 years.
Okay.
And the main thing I would tell them is to start small. Start by what you can do. Start by storing food. when you go to buy your normal groceries, if you're women, buy an extra 2 or 3 cans with the extra money that you have.
Okay.
Sacrifice something else to buy a little bit more to start storing up. And
Okay.
as you see your storage grow, some of the other things that you do grow, it'll encourage you to do a little bit more. But start small, don't get overwhelmed, do what you can, and just ask the Most High to help you and lead you and guide you into what steps to go next. But and it will come. It will come.
Now, would you say that not only with the physical preparation, but would you say that for the spiritual preparation as well? Same?
Probably the more so.
Okay.
I don't believe that a woman should just come and see this and immediately just, without any thought, without any serious conviction
Okay.
coming out of her pants,
Okay.
putting on a head covering. You need to know what you're doing.
Okay. Okay.
It needs to be in your heart.
Right.
Because I've seen too many women do it just because they're here,
Mm-hmm.
and then they go out there or they fall away and there's still no form of holiness.
Okay.
Even if I didn't live here,
Mm-hmm.
I would still dress holy. I would still live holy.
Okay.
So it's you really need to have that personal conviction within your own self
Okay.
instead of just blindly following something. And when the Most High puts it in your heart,
Mhm.
you'll never turn back from it.
And as a piggyback to that, one of the things we had a discussion about is that, people have the impression outside of Straitway. They have the impression that, hey, all these people are there, living there, and they're doing what they're doing, and, it's strict and stringent, you can't laugh, you can't have any fun, because, we're following the Most High all the time, so, it's almost like they kind of feel like you're like little robots walking around for the Most High, and that you don't, in a sense, and I don't mean this, I want to be proper in what I say, but you don't live, and I don't mean live like the world lives, but you don't live, you don't do any, the children, it's almost like the children just work, and the women just work, and the men just work, and after their work, they from all that working all week, their only sense of quote-unquote enjoyment is going to tabernacle, and that, time of rest during Sabbath, and that's it, but I can say personally, from this side of it, but I want your opinion, but I can definitely tell you that that's not the case. And, we had a conversation about that, and that's why it was important that I wanted you to kind of share your feelings about that, because you have a lot of people that I really believe have a misunderstanding of what Straitway and the people of Straitway actually really are. And a lot of times, if they haven't ever had the chance to come here, that's a part of the fall away. So, your thoughts?
Well, one, because they see on video Pastor, his strength and things like that, I can see where they would think that. I really do.
Okay.
And I'm not offended by it.
Okay.
None whatsoever. But we are truly just regular people
Mm-hmm.
who love the Most High, who wanted to come out and wanted to help others come out.
Okay.
We still live. We still have fun. We
Okay.
laugh. We are just like brothers and sisters. We fight like family and we love like family. So it's, I guess they would really have to see it, but it's not strict and stringent. We believe in discipline.
Right.
Because to run a place like this, it does take discipline.
I've seen that.
And the thing about it is that when they come and see it, it usually is so enlightening. So sometimes I kind of don't like for people to see anything other until they get here, so that their eyes can be opened and they can be awakened to, wow, it's really not maybe what I thought.
And the only reason why I say that, Sister Carol, is that because, for some people, financially, they can't, and I understand your perspective on it, but there are those that are having that struggle, and because they're having that struggle, I just don't want them to think that, oh man, if I can't ever get the Straitway, I don't know what it would ever be, and it's just, I've found, personally, a warmth and a welcoming here that is like none other. You don't just hold an event like G.O.T.S. And, I told a lot of people, for myself, I was coming to a family reunion. And I think that that's what it was, because that's what it was like someone said today, we were on the drive into town, and yes, they do live a ways away from town, But and they have come out and went out. But we went into town and we were holding a discussion, the brothers and I, and one of the brothers said, it's like you get that deja vu feeling here, that you'll hold a conversation with somebody and it's like you've already done that. You've been, it's
Right.
normal. It's not, you're not a guest when you come here. You
No.
really aren't. You're family.
Exactly.
And I told you, I'm tongue-tied at that. I don't have a loss for words at many times, but Straitway, Straitway will give you a loss of words because of, number one, the spirit of the Most High is here and it rests here. Well, I don't please forgive me for my saints out there, but where was that the covenant rested at the house of where it rested at his house,
and he was blessed,
and he was blessed all the
Totally
time
blessed.
because of that.
Right.
And it's like that. I've read that,
Mm-hmm.
but now I know what that feels like. That's here.
Hallelujah.
That is it is amazing, and you get to the point where once you get here, you really don't. I told Pastor, and I think I told you at the same time, that you get more of a feeling once you get here. Once you get here and get over the initial, because it goes into you. But it's like once you get over that, now you're contemplating, man, how long before I gotta leave? Because I really don't. I'm enjoying it so much. I don't want to leave, and it just goes by so quick. And I want to say something, saints. I want to say this: that I have never been to a place. This is gonna be funny to you. I've never been to a place that when you get a moment to sit down, you've earned it.
I'm sorry.
When you get a moment to sit down here, it's like it's a blessing. But it's not a blessing in a bad way. It's like when I first got here, the day I got here, I mean, I'm always one that wants to jump in and help wherever I can. But that's me. In the world, that not everybody has that type of mindset. But what I noticed is that when you come here, you just, if you're true, I have to make a caveat to that. If you're truly with the Most High, if your heart is really toward the Most High, you will want to do things right. Things that you may at home be like, oh, I'll just let so-and-so do it. Or so. You don't do that here. It's like, I have to put my hand in. It's just what I have to do. And I noticed that through the work, through the people doing their different chores, that the camaraderie is built. And it grows because of that. You get to know people better when you're sharing in I guess the Lord's work, the land's work, so forth. So I really can see that. I can see that. But more so than anything, and for those who, I'm going to touch on this, but for those of you who want to see it, it won't be available until the video is. I'm just going to touch on the fact that when Pastor under the pavilion a few nights ago at the bonfire, so to speak. But the bonfire was out there, but we were in the pavilion. But when he's talking about community living, and he told your story, I'm not going to ask you to go there now, but it was the first time in the 2 years almost that I've been a part of Straitway. It was the first time that I really and truly saw the heart of the man for the woman in his life, as far as Pastor's love for you and his passion for fighting the demonic world and what is out there. And it is real, people. And it just I know now, if I ever in my past, and if those that remember me from my other life, I was baptized here this time, so the dead man went down the creek. But for those who remember me in my past life, and you can go to my videos and see the past. But the whole point comes down to, if I ever called anyone else in my past life, my mother and father in Christ or in the Most High, you weren't it. These are it. For real. Because you are doing the work. You are showing the evidence of that work here. And you truly love us. It's not a show. It's not a put on. It is true, genuine love for those that you know, because there's people who are just trying to make it seem as if. But for those that you know that love the Most High and that are trying, and when I say trying, because all of us are striving, none of us are perfect, but you show a genuine love to us that you make us want to do everything in our power to support you, to love you, to protect you, to be here for you, because I know what you've done to me, for me, to me, and caused me to want to do. And because of that, all I can say is thank you. All I can say is thank you that I love you. I love you, Sister Carol. I loved you from, you got the calls, you know, I love you, Sister Carol. Tell Sister Carol I love her. And Carol, Jermaine said he loved you again. Brother Jermaine said, but I do. And I really appreciate what you've allowed us to participate in. I thank you for coming to my show, because I joked with the saints that, you know, I had the coup de grace of interviews, you know, but I really meant it. You being here, giving something that you normally would not do for anyone else, it touched me. It showed me something. It showed me that I think I can say I'm closer to being a son than, you know, I'm closer to a younger brother than I probably would be a son. But I just want you to know that the love is there. And to end things, would you like to give a few words to not only the saints as a whole, the brothers, but as well as the sisters out there who I truly believe will be touched, will be moved, and be blessed by you being just a few words and the little bit of time you gave us, it spoke volumes. So, whatever you'd like
I'm
to
really
say.
humbled by your words. I don't even feel worthy, because my husband and I are nothing special. We're just people, like I said, that love the Most High, and we love His people, and we just want to help the saints of the Most High, and we feel like we haven't done enough. We feel like we have so much more to do, so much further to go, but especially to the sisters out there, it can be easy for us if we would allow it to be. Love your husbands, take care of your children, serve and honor them. They have a heavy load upon them, not just the men of God, but the ones that just labor day to day to try to take care of their families and be the spiritual leader, and they don't even half really know how to be a spiritual leader until they grow into it. So help them, be there to meet their needs, and in them being blessed, you will also be blessed with peace and rest all the way down to your souls. So I love you all. I thank you for the opportunity to do this. I don't normally do this like you said, but I'm very humble and I'm very blessed. And if it'll help my sisters, that's what it's all about. So I appreciate it.
Too.
And the brothers too, my sons. I'm not that old though.
Right. And the last thing before I close out, I want to say, for anyone out there who thinks in any way, shape, form, or fashion that Sister Carol is just some meek and docile, demoralized woman because she's knows her place with the Most High, i.e., and her serving to her husband, you're sadly mistaken. She's a very strong woman, and the Most High has given you such a wonderful spirit, and it just resonates every time that I'm around you, that anyone is out there. I noticed that every time you're a pastor on the land, if you come from the house, everybody just gravitating and want to be around you because we love you. We truly love you, and that's what I want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for taking out the time to join us here on Saint Speak, but the simple truth of the matter is that love does conquer all. And if you truly have the love of the Most High in your life, it will resonate, everyone will pick up on it, and everyone will be drawn to it. So I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank you, Sister Carol, for being here. You touched my heart. And as I always tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the simple things are oftentimes the most profound. But yet, they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for joining us, and I'll see you and you real soon. Shalom.